What's going on, fellow YouTubers? Welcome back. I hope everybody's having a great day. Guys, you want to watch this video right to the end. What I'm about to show you, nobody else is going to show you. I stumbled on this because a couple of you guys suggested, hey, why don't you watch this moon video? Why don't you watch this Mars video? Well, one thing led to another, and I watched this one video. I was a little curious because they zoomed into the background. Let's get started on that. All right, so I was watching this video here, and you can see it. It says, Perseverance rover left Mars helicopter Ingenuity's debris shield behind and drove away to helipad. I don't know if I'd call it a helipad. It'd be like helicopter spot because it's a ground. It's not like they made a paved area for it, right? Now, if you don't see it, it's in the back here. Now, what I liked about this video, this guy zooms into this, and I'm not going to play the video because of copyright strikes and everything else. I saw this video, and I decided to get the actual photo. And this is it right here. You can see Mars Perseverance, Sol 31. Right navigation camera or nav cam. And of course, you can download it here. You can see that. And you can see the description on the bottom here. It says, NASA's Mars Perseverance rover acquired this image using its onboard right navigation camera, or the nav cam. The camera is located high in the rover's mast and aids in driving. This image was acquired on March 22nd, 2021, Sol 31, at a local mean solar time of 14:54 and 23 seconds. And of course, image credit goes to NASA, JPL, and Caltech. Okay, this is the photo you'll be getting. So, like I said, I'm watching the video. I'm going to see if you guys can see anything a little odd in the background. And you guys can pause this before I even say anything. So give this thing a pause. Now, when you see it, drop it in the comment section. And then, of course, you can leave other comments saying, oh, you know, what you see and, you know, what you thought of the actual video overall. And guys, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell on the right-hand side so you'll be abreast of all the new videos coming out. Okay, so when you look at this, what do you guys see? First of all, we see the debris cover right here in the background. Okay, I'm going to zoom all the way in. This is as far as I can go in this photo. Right there, the debris cover, which dropped. We've seen the picture of it click and it dropped. Now, the rover is supposed to move over to this side or some flat area, so this way it can drop the Ingenuity, the helicopter, and then, of course, back away so it can start its testing. And they said it's going to happen as early as early April, right? So we can't wait for that. Okay, let's get into this. If you haven't seen this, question, how do we have what looks like wheel marks here on the left-hand side suddenly look like they turn into miniature train tracks? You see that in the back? Now, I can't zoom any more than that, so I'm going to have to go to Photoshop, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, because I'm going to make the photo a lot bigger so we can really zoom into this. So let's get rid of that. Minimize that. Let's get into Photoshop on this. I'd already tilted it so we can get more of a flatter plane so we can see this, right? We can already see it's got this fisheye lens type thing, but that's okay. All right, let's zoom into this. Now, have a closer look at this. Now, keep in mind, this photo is supposed to be this big, okay? So I'll make it much bigger so we can really check this thing out. Okay, again, how do we go from what looks something like wheel marks to suddenly it looks like train tracks? Okay? Or are they real at all? This is my take on it. This is only my opinion. First of all, I believe two things is happening with this item right here, which is the debris cover that covers the helicopter. So when they were landing, it wouldn't get all kinds of dust and stuff shooting against it and maybe breaking the thing, right? Two things are happening with this. One, it was superimposed into this photo. Two, it's been completely manipulated around it. How do I know that? Let's zoom into this, guys. This is cool. Look at the lines in this so-called tracks, okay? Follow it along. You can see it pretty much goes straight. Of course, I'm not going to do this entirely straight. I'm doing this freehand, so just so you guys know. Then it has these kind of curvatures to these, right? This one goes all the way around. Wait a minute. I'm a little confused here. How is this doing this? Okay. Now, notice the background here. Okay. What I find interesting about this thing, it's got this weird shapes to it. In other words, they're not straight. Secondly, we have what looks like lines coming down. I used the term coming down, and you'll see why in a moment. Okay. After I seen this, guys, totally blew my mind. Now, let me show you guys something real quick. Let me just bring it up. Now, let's make it a little bit brighter. Do you guys see these lines now? And all I'm doing is just brighten it up. Look at the lines. Do these look realistic? Goes around like this here. It comes around. There's an inner piece to this. Okay? Look at the shapes of this. Is this an actual wheel mark, or is it something else? And if you notice right here, guys, there's some other shapes in the back here. Going like this here. But it doesn't stop there. It actually goes downward. And look at these other lines here. Has these separations. Again, are they flat? Or is this area here standing up? Meaning is this edge of something? Okay. Let's get out of that. All right, so let's check out how much of this photo is actually real, shall we? Not looking too good, guys. Look at this. Look at the actual spot blurring, and the information has been taken out of this photo. Just to give you an idea, this whole area has been fudged around with. Here. Okay? Here. What is going on there? And I'm going to bounce back to this real quick at the end of the video to show you guys that once all the lines are pulled out that were there originally, you will not see all of this. Why? Because the lines are now there. The information is now put back into the photo. Okay. Bounce right back to this, the actual color. Here we go. Now, guys, this is great. This is absolutely awesome. I never in a million years expected to see this. Okay, so let's keep going. Now, I'm going to do this whole area right here real quick. You're going to see this area right here. And you're going to start to see this stuff pop. Okay, we're starting to bring the lines out. Let's get into this. Okay. Do you see the lines now starting to pop out of here and here, right? Look at the shapes. They do not belong here at all, okay? You can see this other upper piece right here that has this large half-round piece here going like this here. You can see these other pieces, the shapes in them, right? Again, this piece right here, suddenly now we have height. This is higher. This is not flat like you would imagine. This actually has height to it. Let's keep going. And notice on this half-round circle, you have something that looks like pipes. Objects hiding in here. This here. Okay? Let's keep going with it. You can see the difference here. We're going like this. Okay? Now, keep an eye on these lines we're seeing here. Keep an eye on them. Let's go back to the original. They're right there. All those lines are right there. Here's that other piece we just did. Looks like a half round doing this. And we can see all these other little lines. Okay? And I'll make it brighter. There we go. Let's keep going. You can see as I go along each step, you're going to see I'm pulling more and more of this out, right? This here. Check this out. What is going on there? And again, it's mostly hidden, but look, it continues. But again, take all the color out, but look at the lines. They're absolutely there. What could that possibly be, guys? There it is. Now, it completes the piece. Now, as you can see, we brought out a lot of lines here. And I'm going to black and white this for you guys, too. Now, let's keep going. So what I did was I went like this here. Kept going. And you can see some other parts here. Again, these pieces. And all of the stuff in the background here. Okay. And we're going to go over to a little bit to the right here as well. Because you're going to see some more cool things. Let's keep going with it. Okay. Now what I do is a lens correction on this. That doesn't mean I'm actually correcting it. I want to try to make it flatter. Now, this might be the actual photo through the fisheye, or I may be doing this fisheye lens to make it look like it's further away, but check this out. Let's do the lens correction. Okay? It looks like it's maybe slightly closer to you, right? Okay. Let's make this a little sharper. Now, you'll see a little fuzziness. That's all of the burn tool I applied here to try to get this stuff out, right? Bring it out a little bit more. Again, doesn't this now look superimposed? Think about this a minute. Let's go back to this original, and I'll just do the bright one here for a moment. This is where we stopped right here. We came along, stopped right here, dropped the cover, and we kept going. But if this stuff is here, how could you possibly drive over it? So the question is this real? Is this superimposed in there? And these wheel marks are clearly not real. They're faked. That being said, let's jump back into this again. Okay, keep going. Okay, now let's go over to the right of this. See what we got here? It looks like pipes, things sticking out of the ground. Look at this funky little detail thing right here. This is cool. Right here in the back. We have what looks like a piece right here running like this here. Comes out like this here. Comes down. We have a rectangular piece here inside. It's kind of hidden behind whatever this is here. Right? We have this other small object coming off the side of it. Appears to be doing this here. Coming down. Looks like we got a round piece here. Has like that. It has a small type eye thing, and then it's doing this. Whatever that thing is, it's like it's attached to the side of it. See that? And then we went a little bit more on this side. Now, we may do a second part to this, guys. Look at this piece right here. Completely round. This is the stuff we need to really keep an eye out for. Let me back out. And there we are right there. Again, funky shapes. This piece right here. I don't believe that's a simple rock. And what I mean by that is it looks like it has a platform and it has something green on it, right? Almost like a U-shaped type thing. Like it has a slot in the middle or something like that. Now, going back to the original, it is actually there. We'll just make it a little brighter. It is actually there, right there. Guys, look at the stuff in here. It has height. Okay? This piece right here. And you can see what looks like it's got these rounded curves to it and stuff like that. Right here. Right? Here. Now, let me back up a little bit. Give you a kind of perspective from the Rover. And this should be, it looks like it's the nav cam having a look at this area. Now, people might say, well, why would they superimpose this cover there? That doesn't make any sense. Well, the idea is that they're really here to see what's laying on the ground here. Again, they're on Mars for a recon mission. This is not to say, well, there might have been maybe some microbial life. No, no. This is what we're seeing. This is what they're looking at. And look how funny that thing looks now, that cover. Doesn't that look just weird and out of place? Doesn't make any sense. Again, we have these weird parts sitting right here. We've got this like rounded circle type thing. We've got these smaller circles here. We've got these other shapes. And guys, I can go back to this, and it's all there. Make it brighter here. Okay? You just have to look for the lines, the darker lines, concentrate on one area, and they're there. It's right there in your face. Absolutely mind-blowing. Straighten out it a little bit. Clear it up a little bit. There you go. Let me do this for you guys. Let's black and white it. It didn't make any sense to see a photo like this first and foremost, okay? But again, when you look at these tracks, you have to try to determine, one, we have these weird shapes where these tracks should be, and two, is it flat? Meaning doing this, it's just on the ground flat, or are they standing up? Is there height to this? And these are not tracks at all. That would mean this was superimposed, or somehow this thing came around, looked at this stuff, and dropped it right here. So guys, again, this is it, black and white, and look at this. We can check out this here. It looks like pipes on the ground. Different pieces and stuff here. Look at here. Are these structures? Are they what's left of structures? Are they just parts? They almost look like a miniature city. How big would these people have to be if it was? And it's a huge if. I'm not a big fan of having people this big. Or maybe a hair bit bigger. Maybe they're, 8 inches tall. I'm just not a big fan of that theory. But that doesn't mean it can't be possibly like, oh, it can never be true kind of thing, right? Okay. Black and white. I said we'll go ahead and check out down here. We got weird objects in here. Just weird stuff, guys. Looks like a junkyard. It looks like a huge junkyard with debris everywhere, and then parts of it, not so much, guys. Not so much at all. There's something else here buried right next to the supposed debris cover. Or debris shield, if you would like. right? There's something here. And you can see it slotted. Whatever that is. Has a corner to it, looks like right here. And has what looks like the start of another slotted area. Right there. So we don't know. Whatever that is, it's been completely covered over. But how could they possibly have dropped this cover when this stuff is right here? How is that possible? There's no way. But that's how they fooled everybody by believing this cover is real and not superimposed. There's no way they could have went through that area without running over all of this stuff that's sitting here. So my theory is this. What if, remember we were talking about the rover itself flying up and over and into things. Is it possible it's also made to fly over areas that are really wide? Doesn't even have to be tall, but wide. There you go, guys. It's right there in front of the rover. Guys, what are we seeing here? Never in a million years expected to see this. They made a big screw up, and thank God that they did. So when I started to go through this thing, I said, wow, how can that possibly be wheel marks when they look somewhat realistic on the left? So they look like small, like railroad tracks. Something didn't add up. Something didn't make sense. I said, something's in this photo. So when I brought it into the cyan plate, I could see all kinds of information taken out. Which reminds me, let's jump back into that real quick. I almost forgot this step, and I wanted to show you guys this because I told you I would show it to you, so I'm glad I remembered that. Check this out. Let's go into cyan plate. Now you can see the information's been totally redacted right here, down here. Now let's go to the full color enhancement and see what we see. Can anything come out of these particular areas? Well, we got a little bit of it right here, but check out all this. Suddenly the lines are now coming through it because it was being hidden. You can see most of that. You can still see the lines right there. I can see them right here. See that? And then we can see a little bit of information we could drag through that. Okay? You can see that right there. And a lot of this information has been pulled through because we are now returning the lines back to the photo. The information that was redacted is now back. And there you go. There you go, guys. There it is. Again, folks, I don't even know what this stuff is. If we were to believe that there's little people on Mars, then there could be structures. Is it possible it's just mechanical parts laying in an area, just sitting on the ground, and these are just part of something much larger? Again, let's go back to this just for another moment. If you look at this photo, you can see this area right here is completely bright. I believe the stuff we're seeing down in the front here is probably something that's set in front of something much larger in the background. And this background is fake. We've seen them do this before where they have like a fake background. I believe this may be small parts of something in the front of something much larger in the background, and we're not seeing it. What do you guys think of that? So, again, when I seen this and started to uncover it, I was blown away. I could not even believe what I was seeing. But there they are. There's the shapes. Bring the lines out, and you can actually find crazy things in these photos. This, to me, is most mind-blowing so far, and I'm glad I was able to find this because it just goes to show you that this mission is no different than the last Curiosity, which is still there, the Spirit and Opportunity rovers, as well as the Sojourner, the background in the Sojourner photos, remember? Had what looked like vehicles or something like that buried in the dirt or buried in the ground, right? Again, brand new mission, nothing's changed. They're hiding stuff big time. You can break this down yourself. I know a lot of you guys put this stuff in Photoshop. Bring out the lines. Use your burn tool, and you'll find the same stuff I did, and it won't be any different. No different at all. What do you guys think this stuff is? Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Please like and share. Sharing is everything. People have got to see this. One other thing I want to make clear. Somebody had said to me, and I think it was Joss, I call him. He said while he was on Odyssey.com, where I also have my videos, he said, Chris, maybe it's just me, but for some reason it looks slightly clearer on Odyssey than it does in here. So what I did was I took my last video that I did and I put it up there, put it at a certain timestamp, and then went up on Odyssey, brought up that video, and brought up to a certain timestamp. And guess what? It does actually look clearer. The door here, you can see here, you can actually see the squares on the door much clearer. Why? It looks like the player that's on YouTube is really not that great. When you go to Odyssey.com and see that one particular video, it appears to be slightly clearer. So just a little heads up in case you guys want to watch it up there. It's totally up to you. You can watch it either place. It's not going to affect anything, right? And as always, guys, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that YouTube will share it. At least we hope so, right? And guys, again, drop your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I think they messed up big time, and there's proof of it. Anyway, guys, have a good morning, a good evening, a good night, and I'll see you soon. Peace, guys.